US Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth says there's what he calls rightful alarm over China's military buildup in the Asia-Pacific region. He made the comments during the annual Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore. Leaders are discussing the region's most pressing defense and geopolitical challenges.
When we look across the region today, there is rightful alarm regarding China's historic military buildup and the expansion of its military activities in the region and beyond. We share a clear-eyed assessment of that security environment and a mutual understanding that a Pacific dominated by any hegemon would unravel the regional balance of power and undermine the equilibrium we all seek to preserve.
The shadow of Iran war hangs heavily on what's billed as Asia's leading defense forum. Hegseth told the gathering that the US is capable of resuming the war if necessary.
Our ability to recommence if necessary is, we are more than capable. Our stockpiles are more than suited for that, both there and around the globe, because of how we balance exquisite and more plentiful munitions. So we're in a very good place.
All right, well, Michael Shoebridge is the Director of Strategic Analysis Australia, and that's a defence and security think tank, joining us live from Canberra. Thank you for speaking to us once again here at Al Jazeera. The kind of language that's been used by Hegseth towards China seems to be very different from the general sort of anti-China rhetoric that we've heard from Donald Trump, from the administration, whether it was in his first term or moving into his second term. And, of course, all of this off the back of that meeting between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping.
Yes, that is an interesting part of Hegseth's speech. He talks about less public confrontation and about a calmer relationship with China, less of a megaphone and more quiet strength. And so his tagline for his speech was strong, quiet, but clear.
And why do you think that is? Where do you think that shift has come about from? What's the sort of ultimate goal here?
Well, I think it's led the tone of the US-China relationship from America's point of view is set by Donald Trump. And he clearly sees more positives in the relationship than many of his predecessors. He's much more interested in transactional outcomes and business deals, selling soybeans to China than before. So he doesn't want a hardline military approach, and Hegseth is following his lead.
Right. Definitely there has been a major sore point for China here when it comes to the US. And, of course, that's regarding Taiwan. Do you think the US, after that meeting between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping that happened just over a week ago, do you think that things may change there in terms of the US backing Taiwan?
Well, there are certainly some disturbing signs that there is a change in American policy. So Donald Trump, on the flight back from Beijing, said things like Taiwan's thousands of miles away from America and them pushing for independence is a big part of the problem. Taiwan isn't pushing for independence. And Trump also said he was considering $14 billion of arms sales to Taiwan that America has pressed Taiwan to make as great leverage in his negotiation with Beijing. Then Pete Hegseth didn't actually mention Taiwan in his speech, which is a gap. The closest he got was talking about the balance of power and the status quo in the region.
Yeah, that was interesting, the fact that that wasn't mentioned. What do you think the Asian defence leaders that are attending this summit are going to be expecting from the US and perhaps any conversations they could try and have behind closed doors?
Well, I think we saw the same message out of America. You know, America first in a power-based world. Values and democracy are nowhere to be seen. And burden sharing means US allies and partners having to spend a whole lot more. 3.5% of GDP is a simple, clear expectation. So the signal to Japan was there's encouraging signs, but you're not moving fast enough. The only ally America seems happy with in Asia is South Korea. The rest, like Australia, Philippines, Japan, apparently we're still free riding.
And when it comes to the war in Iran, of course, Asia has been affected the most. What does that mean for Asia? And could they perhaps influence Pete Hegseth while he's there as the Pentagon chief in terms of what their needs are?
Well, let's hope so. But really, the effect of the war in Iran that America and Israel began is a big economic hit to the world, but particularly to Asia, so dependent on Middle East energy supplies. The other big problem is no matter what Mr. Hegseth said about America being able to resume the war against Iran, all the munitions and missiles they've used means they're much weaker as a security actor in Asia. So Asian partners and Australia and other allies are very concerned about that. That's going to be in the middle of some of the conversations.
All right, Michael Shoebridge, thank you very much for speaking to us, Director of Strategic Analysis Australia.